horrible. I don't even know what live message I just went live with. Alright, let's see. Testament levels. Looks like I'm good. You're probably good there. I'm trying a new background noise filter. One of my aquarium pumps is making noise. One of the canister filters. And I didn't sleep at all last night, but it was actually due to a normal human reason, which is it's crazy rain and thunderstorms and pouring and outside, and just couldn't sleep because of that. And the dog sleeps with me. He usually sleeps under the cover with me, and if he's not under the cover, he's sleeping on top of the covers on top of me. And man, he was like so active last night, and anytime I'd just about get to sleep, he was concerned about what was happening outside. Let's see. Yes, it looks like if I want to get to that information I was looking for on the differences in vendor sales. Oh. The phrase that pays. That's right, we need to get that going. Hey, thank you very much, Skeggy.
Yeah.
I think I got it all together today. Sort of. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go to the item log database to find that.
Oh, I just had that up. I could have done a search. Sanu's out for the day.
Good for him. Hey, and thank you very much, Tular Fairlow. Let's see.
All right, I am squared away.
All right. Oh, looks like it actually is time. I should make this window. I need to adjust that a little bit. But greetings, avatars! Thank you for joining us today. Sorry, but I went live without setting my message. So it's whatever message was last time. So I'm sure it says something like, Release 92 live stream or something like that. It's completely inaccurate. And it may have
a player event.
It was a player event. It is not a player event. I did not just do a player event. Miss tweet there. This is not the cooking stream either. Although I am hungry. I did not have lunch. But today we are here to do our usual post-release chat. I'm still fumbling a little bit with things here. If you'll give me a minute to catch up on some editing stuff. And I think it's just going to be the two of us. Just the two of us. We can make it. That's one of those songs that I only really know it from like TV commercials where they use that song, or like where they're selling cassette tapes on the radio, so I don't actually know the lyrics. So let's see. Is that the right way? That is the right way. Bam. I call that good. Getting better. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Okay. But anyways, while we wait for a few more people to fill in here. Who did that song, Atos? I did it just now. I don't know who did that, just the two of us song. Like I said, I only know it from like commercials and advertisements for collections of popular hit CDs and tape cassettes back in the day. Bill Withers. That's okay. I know Bill Withers. Yes, Elgarion's beard has achieved epic status. Maybe even
salvage it for an imbued gem.
Maybe even relic status. Oh. Let's see. Still waiting for a few people to file in here. But we'll give them like 2 more minutes, then we'll get started there. I started the stream a little later than normal. I normally started early so people can come piling in.
And for you guys wanting to win prizes, be sure to type in pumpkin spice and everything nice into your in-game chat, or purchase something on the website add-on store, and then you can be eligible for prizes.
Man, I'm getting a little jealous of how much attention your beard's getting there.
All right.
We did do it's.
Everybody's got a beard up here.
It's about. I guess it's been about 6 years since I did the last Movember. The wife doesn't let me do the Movember stuff anymore, so I just donate to other people's Movember campaigns. But Star and I did the Movember. I did a pretty good. Had a pretty good mustache. Let's see. All right, I think we're going to call that good. Looks like we're up to the 60s on the people filing in there. And greetings, Avatar. Welcome to the stream today. We're here to talk to you about all the stuff, all the amazing things that happened this release. I actually do think this one was a pretty amazing release in terms of just the challenges faced and how amazing it turned out. We didn't have any serious issues. We fixed a ton of bugs. We fixed a bunch of balance issues. Even got a new skill in. There'll be some more coming here shortly. We just need some improved VFX work done for those guys. Right now the Lightning Storm Cloud is just entirely too big, and I want to do a little bit more with the Ankh special stuff. But you've got Kona Cold to play with. The thing I have in front of me here is the Talk of the Town. Whoa, that guy there. To help you out with finding stuff. I'm actually here in Crafter's Town to try it out today, just because Crafter's Town is nuts in terms of how many items there are in Crafter's Town. I could sit here and like scroll the entire stream and probably not get to the bottom. I also love the fact that you can come into it and get the whole list of stuff, and then you can go and see what stuff is new in the list, what stuff has been added, and find only the latest stuff. Or find it by person, or find it by price. I'm not sure why we would ever need weight, but I guess you need to know that if you're going to buy something. But again, awesome. I think this, I was just looking for ways we could track better metrics on how much this has improved sales. I know it's improved it a ton. I've seen anecdotal evidence of that. I was just trying to get my usual charts. You guys know I love charts. But anyways, just one of many, many things that went into this release. And let's see. And Tular Fairlow, the Movember, that's your action. I got yelled at when I did the last one. I actually grew a beard too, and I had a decent little beard going. And I kind of trimmed it up to do kind of a Dark Star thing with a little, what's that called? The goatee, the little, whatever, the little evil person.
The Van Dyke.
Yeah, the Van Dyke, the evil Cartman is whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I did that, but I got yelled at and told I was not allowed to do that because it looked okay. And the whole point behind doing the Movember thing is you're supposed to be attracting attention to yourself and how bad it looks, because then it becomes a conversation starter. Problem is right now I'm at home, not seeing anybody. So what good would it do for me to start conversations? I have a conversation with my dog and my wife and my child every day, I guess. Maybe my fish. What do you think, fish? What do you think about beard? Wouldn't work. All right. But anyways, we have the release live as of yesterday. There was one patch that came out yesterday. There's another patch that's going to be coming, or that just went out earlier today, that was actually based. There was a handful of bug fixes in it, but it was also going through watching some streams, and also kind of, I don't just go and watch a stream and then do whatever they say on the stream. But when I hear something on streams that kind of reinforces, I agree with it, was something I was already thinking about, I will tend to take action on. One of the things I did yesterday was going and doing a quick tune-up on the Rise. After seeing some feedback, some honest feedback on a stream I was watching without letting them know I was there, and seeing the constant talking about they like it, but they hate it because it's all freaking elf archers, and all they do is, nothing is more annoying and harder to, less rewarding than fighting the elf archers. So if you go to the Rise as of this morning's patch, there should be slightly fewer elf archers and more melee guys in there. So you can go give that a try. There's also some tune-up to the final room, and there should be a little more action in the pit dragon area. But what more do we have to talk about for the stream? I don't have my list in front of me, or for the release.
Oh,
You're ready to start diving into that stuff?
Some bullet items if you like.
Okay. Why don't you go over the bullet items? We'll go over that. We'll talk about that. I've got some stuff to talk about with an upcoming scene. We've got a little bit of stuff to talk about with some Lua stuff that I'm working on right now to make it perform better so you guys can have real Lua interface. And then also going through, at the end, we'll try to get through a couple dozen questions from the Ask a Dev stuff. I think I'm going to have to do another just a stream to answer Ask a Dev stuff, though. But you want to go ahead and hit some of the bullet points? Your favorite things?
Sure. This time in the patch notes or the release update, let me just link that in case somebody just came in a few minutes ago. There's a link to what I'm kind of scanning through. Normally the UI changes aren't up top, but such a big UI item came in from Wizard Smoke. It was a vendor listings in zone, and Chris just went through that and showed you, and actually that's up on the screen now. So now you guys can go to each zone, and that's a town, and all those player vendors that are around, it will actually display the items for sale. Now, I never even really thought of it. I wonder if the public vendor stuff in the NPC town shows up in there. Curious. But in any case, number 2 on that list was probably something that just kind of needed some love and a little bit of overhaul, and it's how you upgrade your deeds. Previously, when you were doing deed upgrades, you'd right-click on the deed bots in your inventory, and it would bring up a context menu where you would pick your various upgrade options. And those upgrade options were pulled from 6 different upgrade channels. It would only show a small number, like I think 2 or maybe 3 from each channel that was possible for the upgrade from the current deed type you had. But once you were locked in for one deed type, you kind of stayed in that area and stuff, and it led people to, it was confusing because you would see gaps. So like, well, why am I not able to upgrade straight to this? It's going right to this now, which is even more, so it just didn't make any sense. So what it is now that we've gone through a 6-month phase down of prices, basically the last 6 months, deed prices have come down approximately a 1/6 every month to get to a target price point, and not a 1/6 of the price, but a 1/6 of the price difference to get to the price point. And so we've kind of weaned that down to those prices. Now we have them where we want. They're very logically increasing percentage-wise based on size of the deed. And there's no longer 6 upgrade channels. So if you were to right-click on a deed, if it's a non-founder deed, they're all in the same channel now, even water deeds and place anywheres and tax-free place anywheres, all that stuff. And you're going to get up to 10 results all in a row of every upgrade option you have. And of course, founder deeds are in their own little world over there where you can still upgrade those up to city. And then most of the other US stuff was just bug fixes. Another big ticket item for this tick release, of course it's more of a polish release, was patterns. So 70, and honestly, if you count the patterns that were added to the game for the subscriber rewards and the login reward type stuff, that's even more. But for this particular work, it was 70 patterns were added from, and it's almost all crafted gear. So basically, you had lots of gear items that you could craft, but since they didn't use an optimal number or type of straps and sheets and bindings and all that stuff, it was really people would just craft them to have a physical look, but they couldn't necessarily go adventure with them because then they would be kind of gimped. You wouldn't have all the stats you would need to go out and adventure, so you would end up using these other more optimal pieces of gear and using the patterns that were available. Well, now all those gear items have at least one purpose, and I'll try to give them more love as time goes on. But so we've got 70 new patterns from all those crafted items. I'm just going to go through it, like the aeronaut suit, all those headdresses, including the dragon one, the bone armor set, the obsidian armor set, all the obsidian weaponry, the fancy merchant gear, the one-man band crafted items, all those like tiaras and circlets you can wear on your head, including the ornate one that's on the store that was actually missing a pattern. There's even some quest item patterns available now, like for your judge wig or the tinfoil hat. And I think that'll be a lot of fun, but lots of cool stuff. The wizard's hat, that's a good one. The perennial coast farmer stuff and peasant dress, the perennial coast peasant gear, the shepherd's crook. So I think some good customization options for your visuals now. Let's see here. We got a new recipe in the game to craft a wooden trough to place, for your horses and mounts and stuff. And then another new recipe if you wanted to place an empty coat hook next to your actual, and that was a kind of a small one, quick and easy, but we've had people asking for it, so I just knocked it out real quick. But you can put an empty coat hook right next to a cloak hanging up just to add a little bit more immersiveness to your design. But now we also have the crafted artifacts. There's some significant changes with those, and here's basically the gist of it. So these crafted artifacts existed back in a day where there were no tiered artifacts. So when you crafted a belt of the Troll Lord, or an ancient staff of death, or an ancient staff of anarchy, or you crafted the Warlock's chain, it was what became the uncommon version once they were tiered. And so the common versions which were created were never usable by the players because you started off at uncommon after you crafted it from the initial recipe. So a little bit of redesign of those recipes to get you to start at common version. They all take an ancient essence now to craft that first common version. And because when you salvage them, of course, you get ancient essences back. And I didn't want it to turn into like an ancient essence farming tool. But you also, let's say a big change for the Warlock's chain is you only need a common version of the Heart of Rule now to match up with that concept. And the two chains you craft to make the Warlock's chain that take all those attunement rings, they only also now take the common versions of those rings. Because you're ultimately getting a common version of the Warlock's chain. So everything's just kind of scaled back one little tick, so you have common available to you now. And keep in mind too, all of the those crafted artifacts now can be salvaged to get some return on the components that might have been put into them. It's nothing going to be stellar because obviously it takes a lot of components to make, say, an epic Warlock's chain. So no, we're not going to make it so you get, oh, now I can craft, I salvage that epic and I can craft, 5 commons now. Now, it'll be pretty sparing, but you'll get something back, kind of akin to just getting a couple, gems or jewels, from salvaging those as well. Because ultimately, we want you to go out and get new items and, not just have everything recycled right back into a new item. And they did get some experience point boosts for crafting them as well. Warlock's chain especially on the final craft, not the chains craft. The 2 separate chains that like the subcomponents, and then the troll belt and the 2 staves, just a little bit of a boost. Let's see here. Oh, and so those master mage potions, I kind of went into them cautiously last month, and they had ultimately, if you had 150 adventure level, 150 specialization in whatever school for the potion you're drinking, for let's just say the potion of the master chaos mage or whatever, you would ultimately end up about a 10% mastery bonus. So now with those same 150, you're likely to get closer to 15-16% for a mastery bonus. So I was going in and seeing how many people were actually crafting them, and Fire was really the only one that was getting a significant amount of attention. And there was one school that nobody crafted a single one of them. So what I did also is I added in another stat as well. So for instance, so for the air master mage potion, it increases your lightning range, and all the ones that increase range essentially increased it. A lot of those where I did a range increase, it was a static 20 feet or 20 meters, whatever. You basically can get it upwards to an extra 5 feet at the 150 standard for where I do a lot of my testing. And the so lightning range, you got an extra 5 feet on that, give you a little bit of extra flexibility. Chaos extends some torpid torment range, same concept, about an extra 5 feet once you get up to about 150 on both those. And that's going to help you a little bit of PvP for Chaos Mages out there. And of course, you got to be a specialized Chaos Mage to take advantage of this potion. Death Mages will really like this one, I think. The near death bonus increased a bit for them. And then the Earth Mages get a little bit of extra root range. Fire Mages get some fire elemental power. I was really cautious with giving fire more power because we already know they're a little OP. Another thing I was looking at too with fire, and probably what we need to do is start fleshing out some more stats for fire, because I noticed there's actually very few stats I can put into items and artifacts from fire. And that's probably why they end up getting really powerful, is because everything we give you guys is only boosting up those small number of things that are stacking up really nice now. So we really need to start spreading out the bonuses you guys get for fire. Then I can have more freedom to do fancier stuff with you, the fire mage stuff. So life mages, it increases the healing grace duration. That might be good as you're trying to go through your party and pop healing grace on everybody. If you're a healer, well, you got a little bit more, if you're specialized life mage, get a little bit more time to get back to that first person and stack up another healing grace on them. Or you won't have to cast it on yourself quite as often. So moon mages, I'm trying more and more to give them some kind of a concept of maybe a little bit more magic resistance, and that's why Celestial Blessing really favors a specialized moon mage where their focus penalty is a lot less. Try to take in Celestial Blessing where it's not a spell that everyone will use all the time. It will be more situational, like I probably shouldn't use it now because I need a little bit more focus. But of course, if you're specialized in moon magic, that penalty is greatly reduced. Well, also want to give love to Moon for like their shadowy stuff, like shadow form and stuff. Give them more stealth power, and that's what their potion does now. Is it gives them a pretty significant boost to their stealth power when they're using shadow form. Sun mages and water mages, the extra bonus went towards their pets. So Phoenix power, and then water and ice elemental power. Now keep in mind, just because we have these mastery potions for each of these schools of magic doesn't mean that these schools of magic aren't going to get additional mastery potions. And but before I do that, I'm going to go to all the different skill trees and make sure everybody gets a mastery potion before I start making 2 for every school tree, etc. And you're essentially going to have to pick which one you use, so it's not going to be continually stacking more power. It'll be picking which power you want to use at the time. And I think most everything else in the that section was pretty much bug fixes and things like that, and just little improvements. Lots of more decorations, tons more decorations can work in the POT environment now. That was a big change. All right, so combat and skill changes. Chris mentioned Cone of Cold. So what Cone of Cold is, it's an AoE cone type of frontal attack. And with a significant range, I think it's like 20 feet or meters. It does a significant amount of damage, but what's kind of nice is it actually adds an attack speed debuff to your hit targets who you damage them. And if you're specialized, it'll even do a little bit more attack speed debuff, and I think that stacks 3 times. And then also the cooldown, if you're specialized, will go down as well. We just talked about Celestial Blessing. Maybe I'll touch on it a little bit more. So now Celestial Blessing, which was a skill that you literally didn't really need to level. You could have very, very little and just cast it, and you're going to get your 20 magic resistance to 4 different schools of magic. But now it scales with your skill level. So, and then also, if you were to stack it, you get extra benefits. And if you're specialized, you get even more benefits. So it's just kind of a change that just needed to happen to put the skill in place. And we also wanted to make it just a little bit less, well, I'm always going to have this up. Sometimes you're not. And sometimes people just won't have use for it because maybe they have a very focus hungry build. And you know what? Well, that means that they're also just not going to be able to use that skill. Yeah, you don't have to use every skill. So inner strength also is kind of same concept. No real nerf or anything here. It just stacks now, and with its effect as well as duration. And I think everything else in that category was just tweaks and bug fixes and stuff like that. So economy changes, loot changes, that kind of stuff. We introduced Let's talk about the PAX ring nerfs / balancing first. So the PAX ring, which is a fishing ring, at epic level, and this is one of the artifacts I was delaying putting into doing the balance pass. I hadn't done a balance pass on it yet, and I was delaying putting into the viewed gems, jewels system, whatever, just until I had more time to work on fishing stuff and really look through things. And so one thing that the PAX ring, one of the things that the PAX ring did was where would you go? Sorry, cat aggro. One of the things that PAX ring did at epic level, and that's why we had to put that into the gear exclusion system or feature, whatever. At epic level, it gave you 50% bait recovery, and which, you know, really kind of considering all the different ways you could get bait recovery bonuses, whether it was the devotional or the baked paku, or if you were lucky enough to have one of Famines' old fish finder cloaks, or I know I'm forgetting one, of course, the PAX ring, whatnot, and the skill itself. You know, you could easily reach that soft cap that Chris had created to the point where the skill is really irrelevant, didn't matter, and the skill needs to matter the most. So really took a big gutting to the PAX ring, but I did add in a little bit. So basically, and then also use that little bit that I did add as a standard for the other 3 rings that just got added. So PAX ring now caps at 6% at the epic, and I think a 3% saltwater fishing bonus. Not 3%, but +3. And the other rings mirror that at their epic level. They would be +6% bait recovery and at a +3 for their water type. So you now have a ring of the master, or sort of the fetid water angler, the freshwater angler, and also the lava angler. And of course, the saltwater angler one would be the PAX ring. It's just not renamed to fit that naming convention, and we were not going to rename it either. But so now you have 3 different artifacts to go look out for. And of course, they all salvage now into an imbued jewel. So if you had 3 of those imbued jewels and you scattered it through your 2 rings in your necklace, that's a +18% right there, +9 to whatever fishing skill is appropriate for that jewel or gem, or jewel type. And then if you were happen to be looking, and I also changed how the PAX rings drop as loot to get it, because I'm trying to make every scene, as things get added in or things get realigned, I'm trying to make sure that everywhere gets some special loot. So we got 4 scenes that got some love this time, and that was for the PAX ring was Penmar Island. You go kill some bandits over there. For some reason, they've been hoarding those things. They probably broke into Winfield's vault and stole all of them, I would imagine. And that's why they're all over there now. Who knows? And then we've got the so for the let's see, if I can find that real quick. So for the ring of the freshwater angler, you can find that in Upper Fortis, hunting kobolds. I do actually really love that scene. It's one of my probably top 10 favorite scenes just for design. There's not a whole lot to do there, so now you got something to go there looking for. Then you got the ring of the fetid water angler, and you go to Norgard Fens for that guy, and also from kobolds. Norgard Fens is a pretty cool scene. There's an Easter egg to Never-Ending Story there. There's a puzzle to solve there for, you know, a puzzle buff. It's a pretty cool scene also. And then for the lava angler, you can go to Verdantis Mines, also a really, really cool scene that makes really good use of vertical space in the dungeon. And you can get that as a rare drop from elves. And these new rings also, if you were lucky enough, and this is going to be a rare drop, because people are out there fishing all the time, and it's a constant, just low risk, just kind of grind as you're getting fish and goodies and stuff like that. So every now and then you're going to be lucky enough to get an odd container, in parentheses, flotsam. And the reason in parentheses flotsam, I mean like flotsam and jetsam. Flotsam and jetsam is basically shipwrecked stuff that's floating around, or stuff that was deliberately, jetsam would be, I think, stuff that's deliberately thrown overboard. So we'll just do flotsam, but there'll be other flotsam varieties coming up. And it'll just be easier. The reason that word's there is if the future ones arrive, you can just do a filter search to find all your flotsam items. But it's basically a supply bundle that's being designed with new loot. And right now they're really, really rare. And as they get fleshed out with more and more loot, so I can balance it where you get weaker stuff, much more common, and then the rare stuff much less common, you might see them drop more. But for now, they're gonna be pretty darn rare. And as you casually are fishing in the future, you know, when you finally do get one of those, you have a fairly good chance of getting what is called a Cloak of the Master Angler. And this is going to lead us into a new discussion about relics. So with the history of all the artifacts in game, artifacts, of course, are all tiered now, but we still have a lot of, I'm sorry, not all of them are tiered. We still have a lot of artifacts that haven't been put into the tiering system. And, but with this new concept of artifacts, enduring relics, and ephemeral relics, not all of them will be tiered into artifacts. Some of them may be starting to be considered enduring relics, and it doesn't mean they won't receive a balance pass and possibly some stat love that you guys might enjoy. So I can't imagine too many of them getting nerfed, actually. I think we're a little bit past that for too many more of those. And then the ephemeral relics is going to be, I know I've been dropping hints at like magical torches coming. So that's going to be a really good example of ephemeral relic, because once those torches burn out, well, that's it. And I'll probably let you go, you know, put a little salvage table in so you maybe get some goodies or something after you use it all up. But in any case, so the goal of ephemeral relics is basically a high power magical item that has a very low durability, and it will not be tiered, it will not be repairable, and it's basically like almost like back in my D&D days, oh, I got a wand of lightning with 10 charges, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, it'll have that kind of feel. I mean, it won't be like 10 charges, but it'll just be short duration where you're like, oh, I'm only going to use this for a few minutes, I'm going to save it for this next adventure. You know, you just sparingly use them, and they'll be pretty rare drops. Chris was talking about maybe putting in some tech of some kind, undetermined as of yet, to put in some sort of PvP limitations for them, so that way we don't cause imbalances in PvP with these weird power burst items, but it'll primarily be where you get these power boosts in PvE. And then keep in mind too, neither of the relics will create imbued gems or jewels. That'll just be reserved for artifact concepts. And so this Cloak of the Master Angler is it's a new special item that basically is this almost the same stats, slightly less stats on the extended fishing range you get from the Fish Finder Cloak. So you got a little bit of a nerf, but also got extra fishing range added. So it's a plus 5% bait recovery on the Cloak of the Master Angler, just like the new nerfed values for the Fish Finder Cloak. But it also has just a little bit less fishing range bonus of a 3 instead of a 5 that's on the Fish Finder Cloak, just so those people that have that old cloak have a little bit of extra bonus. And let's see. What else do we got? Yep, Bake Paku got some loving. It has a double, instead of 2.5% bait recovery, now it's 5% to give that consumable a little bit more interest and love from people. And considering the other nerfs and stuff and the rebalancing the whole bait recovery, I think it might be a more valuable item now. And here's a big one too. So I did some diving into bait and noticed one, earthworm. Earthworm is the only way you could receive an earthworm is through agriculture, but it was only assigned as a really rare drop to crops that are hardly ever grown. It would be things like you grow once in a while just to stock up on, I don't know, roses to make certain dyes, and then you won't have to do that very often. A lot of times when you're growing roses, you're leaving them up because it's just for decoration purposes. So, what I did is I put earthworms as drops all through all agriculture, and we're treating it as one of the 3 base baits. So you have minnows, red worms, and earthworms. Those are your 3 base baits that are really easy to acquire, because of course minnows and red worms you just purchase on a merchant. And then earthworms you would just get pretty readily, not super readily, but pretty readily in agriculture. And when I mean needing to boost it up a bit, I checked when I did this change, only 111 earthworms were created in the game in a 3-month period. So yeah, they're definitely going to be a lot more prevalent now. And so in any case, but you're going to use one of the primary purposes for these baits. Of course, you're still going to be able to fish for everything. All these have a chance to catch everything. Slightly different rates. Of course, if it's trophy fish, these baits typically don't do very well for trophy fish. But what I did make them their specialty is having the best chances to catch other bait types. So keep in mind that dredge leeches, minnows have a greater chance to catch. I didn't put too much logic or thought into the, what would eat what, but dredge leeches will have a greater chance to catch tiny squids in salt water and pale leeches in fetid water. Red worms have a significantly greater chance to catch sardines in salt water and dredge leeches in fetid water. And earthworms have a significantly greater chance to catch herring in salt water and blood leeches in fetid water. And so as you're using those base baits, you will start to stockpile some of your special baits, and then you can save those up for doing big batches of, all right, fishing contest is coming up, I'm gonna go use my best baits and see if I can win a contest, that kind of stuff, or that kind of thing. And because of all these changes, Chris was allowed to able to remove that soft cap that was in. So now, technically, and I did the testing here at 150 bait recovery, I think I was able to get my bait recovery up to 86% at 150. So you'd be able to tweak it up a little bit, but you shouldn't be able to reach 100% by any means whatsoever. Big change, the Frost Giant's Eye, the initial iteration of it was Ice Field Effect bonuses. Now the Frost Field Eye, which drops from the Giant and Jotunbrand, has Cone of Cold bonuses, as does the Imbued Gem. It's the Imbued Gem of Cone of Cold. 2 ofs. It was really awkward. I didn't know what to do with that. So, and I'll catch up on comments. I'll scan through real quick if you guys had like quick follow-up questions, what I'm blabbing about. All right, so we got wax cylinders. 28 new wax cylinders introduced into the game. We got 20 of them on the store that'll show up on the last Friday before the next release. And then we've got 8 of them that are introduced into loot. And they're pretty darn rare loot. So, I mean, you could try to go grind for them, but I would imagine at some point you're just treat it part of your just natural day and you'll just stumble across them. Because they're pretty rare, but they are, if you do ever end up getting overstocked on them, you can salvage them for wax and metal. But in any case, you have March of the Automatons, and you get that from slaying automatons. And keep in mind, automaton isn't a clockwork creature, it's specifically the automaton, the humanoid-shaped one. So that doesn't count if it's like clockwork monkeys or clockwork ravens, stuff like that, just the automatons. I got the Awakening of the Reapers, drops from Reapers. Vertus drops from Elves in Vertus Pass. The Satyr Masters drops from Satyr Fighters. The Heart Song of Elysium drops from the Ghost Boss, it seems like Tachias or something, in Elysium Mines. The Wandering Wisp drops from Wisps. The Ruins of Midras drops from Kobolds and Midras Ruins. And the Fall of Apollos drops from Kobolds and Apollos Ruins. And Akaran gear, the Akaran artifacts drop more readily now. I did see somebody chat, I'll get it fixed, where they couldn't remove a pattern from it, so I'll get that fixed here shortly. There's a bug fix. And most everything else is just little balance changes and fixes and stuff in that section. And then for World Quest and Miscellaneous changes, that section, lots and lots of stuff that Sanyu just, oh my gosh, so many fixes for quests and world building stuff. But probably the biggest items would be the new quests he created. I think he's, I can't remember exactly. Oh yeah. So one, there's a new quest where you can go out into the world and get the kobold, the kobold weaponry that you can find in Kroll. And I think at one point it was in Skrek as well, which I think's been removed now. Those inoperable Cobalt Cloud Cannon and the Tesla rifle or whatever, you can now place these as decorations, but not the actual versions you pick up. That's what the quest is for. So if you take that to a quest there, I think it's in the Jack of Diamonds, you can get a quest to go get those items, and if you already have them, just take them to that guy, and you can get the decorative versions of them. Let's see, and then Chris, and also we got a new mini scene Sanyo started called the Manor of Mystery. So I'm really curious to see what that turns out to be. But that's all I've got for big ticket items, Chris, other than the last one, which is something you worked on. And that was all the wyverns and the juvenile dragon stuff.
Yeah, and I was sitting here being quiet. I was trying to do the thing where I watch the stream and show interesting content on screen while you talk. I'm not sure if I succeeded or not. But yeah, I was going to mention also on the ring stuff and the balancing stuff with the fishing. That was also, some of that is the leftover from, we added a second ring type, and we probably made some bad decisions on that for allowing two of the same or not handling that case early on. So some of that balance came from that. Yeah, in terms of...
I think all... That might have been the last gear exclusion item. I was trying to slowly remove them through the balance work. I think that might be the last one. People can correct me if I'm wrong and have me look at something, but I think it might be the last one.
Yeah. But yeah, so this release, that's one of the things that we took as player feedback is, people love having pets and they love having, a variety of pets. And for a lot of people, it's kind of the whole Pokemon thing. If they want to, even if they're only going to use one, they want to capture them all. One of the things that I'd heard a lot of feedback on was that they love wyverns and they love dragons, and they're the coolest looking ones, and they're the ones they want to have. And there's also the different colors and varieties of those, so they love them. But they weren't competitive. We'd added the tier above. We'd added what internally, at least, we refer to as T15, the Destroyer tier. And so those never got a Destroyer version. So this release, there's now Destroyer versions in there. I tried to scatter them if you're not familiar with where they're found. There's one actually in here that I actually just saw a minute ago that I think Genie UK killed it. Sad, she could have tamed it. But there are also, any place that the baby dragons were found, you should now find, once in a while, you'll find the juvenile dragons instead of a baby dragon. And for the wyverns, I think there's only maybe a couple different types that are currently available in the world. I know Well of Alder has some, is where a lot of people have been going to get them. But those are ones that we're also saving some of the other color ones so we can have those color variations. So we can go and scatter them around new scenes and scenes we want to attract people to. So you have reasons, to go to those scenes. So, and I see somebody say they're a lot weaker. They should be about equal to. They've got a few different stats, but mostly their stats are about the same as their innate powers. So it depends on which guy you're comparing them to. They may be weaker than, less hit points than a bear, but they should be more comparable with like a wolf or something like that. But they do have different, slightly different stats. They'll probably get a little more love for like, being able to shoot a little firebolt type thing for the dragons is one of the things I wanted to get going on, but touch up on some of that stuff. But they should be competitive. I'm not going to say they're the best. Again, we didn't want to make... It's tough to do that balance because there's so many apples and oranges in how people use them. We know a lot of people use their pets for tanking all the damage. But yeah, they should be competitive. I'm not going to say they're the best. I think right now, just by a hair, probably the Red Eye Snarler is still the best. But you guys may have a different opinion. Low DPS and don't keep aggro. That I can believe. And that may be one that I need to go look at their attack. For a lot of these guys, there's multiple different things go into the time between attacks. And really for those guys, the time between attacks is the thing that can be the most important for holding aggro. But I can take a look at that. And again, I've kind of been struggling to trying to find the what's cool about them thing. And maybe that's one thing I can look at. Is they're slightly weaker than the other guys. Maybe I can look at the thing that's cool about wyverns is that they are good at holding aggro compared to other guys. They're a little lower DPS. They're slightly weaker than the toughest things, but they're better at holding aggro, and that would make them a little better. Croc, Arachnid, Razorback still better than... Yeah, I tried to make the stats on a pure numbers basis. The Red Ice Snarler should be slightly better, but maybe not once you get all your buffs and everything onto them. Wyverns make too much noise for me. Understood. But yeah, those are in game. I know that's one of the things people are enjoying right now is going and collecting some of those guys as well. Let's see, Corpian Destroyer weak, Croc and Destroyers seem to be the strongest. All right, and Ice Elemental still broken. I did more. Go ahead.
Throw all that stuff in a spreadsheet and get a good go if you want.
That's another one that has evolved over time. I think I've only added the Red Ice Snarler. I think Beezus added the other guys. So yeah, so probably all need just like everything, many other things in the game. They've been added slowly over multiple years, and now it's probably time to go back and take a solid look at all of them and come up with another balance for them. Can you dragon do AoE attack? That's one that people are talking about, is having the dragon do something, because again, you got the unicorns that can do that. So that's one that definitely can consider. That's one of the things I was thinking about, is those guys with an AoE that can do, they can do more DPS, and then the Wyvern can be the aggro holder. All right. Oh, and I think you hinted at another scene that was coming up that we were going to talk about. So we've had, for years now, we've had people talk about why is there... Oh, and I'm not on the screen. Hold on, let me put myself back on the screen. There's Dark Star stuff in game. There's Lord British stuff in game, and there's nothing Atos related in game. There's nothing mine. So actually, I did not really planned on adding anything, but one of the team members, Liz Rostov, took it upon himself to add something. So actually coming up, it'll probably be this next release. But you will find there will be a new Castle Atos that is in game. This is a bit different. It's going to be closer to like Soul Town. It'll be on Novia, not on the new continent. It will not be on Mistrinder. It'll be back in the old place over by Soul Town, with the idea of it being close to where new players come through in high traffic areas. We know, and yet we're well aware that most players, level 70 or whatever, never walk around, and they pretty much teleport everywhere they go. But again, this is mainly aimed at the social hub type space for newer players and older players as well to come in. There'll be some stuff that you can do out of it, dungeons that come off of it, but it'll be an outdoor scene. That'll be a castle scene. That'll have market stuff, all sorts of things. So there will be a Castle Atos coming up. I have seen it. I have walked around it. It's getting a lot of polish. It's actually getting pretty close visually already. It's just going to take, we need some more, some Sanyo love on it right now is kind of the big thing it'll be missing. So, and I will tell you a secret. Right now, the phrase is pumpkin pie spice and everything nice. But in the code, I shortened the string to pumpkin spice. So you only have to type the pumpkin spice. Have I died in it yet? I have not. I have not died in it yet. But anyways, that's one of the things you can look for. That'll be, I'm pretty sure it'll be next release. We'll see. It's already pretty close. We'll get it on QA pretty quick. Also, that reminds me, we will probably not have a patch tomorrow. We're not seeing anything super critical right now that's broken. Usually we have more stuff that's really broken. And things are actually looking great this release. The vendor stuff seems to be working well. We probably will look into a few more optimizations for the vendor search long term. I know in most towns it's lightning fast and comes up in 15 seconds or so. But in some of the biggest crafting hubs, it can still take a minute or two to pull up. That's way down from where we had it at like 15 minutes if you tried it on QA. But we do still have some more work to be done on. And we're looking at some other options in terms of, trying to figure out the best way to speed that up with both in terms of tech side of things, but also speeding it up in terms of, are there other filtering things we want to do for it? Like maybe only show the stuff that has been added in the last year or something like that. Leaderboards. I'm aware that leaderboards are down. I actually wasn't aware of that until yesterday. And then with the release, I just haven't had time to get to it. I will get to that next week. I know those are down. That is actually still fallout from, and we're documenting all the things when we have these fallouts. We had one of our AWS boxes fail suddenly. And then, of course, we get the email about 15 minutes after it fails that the machine has been decommissioned from AWS. So that was one that we had, and there were some problems with a stuck DNS entry. There's several things, but we ended up having to change some actual IPs by hand to fix some things up, and there were more fallout than that from expected. We normally don't have to do that. We use different dynamic DNS type stuff, so we normally don't have those type problems, but in this case we had some problems beyond that that we had to actually put in service tickets on to get them fixed. So, but anyways, that's still fallout. The leaderboard's not being up, or fallout from that. We will get those up this weekend. I know that makes you guys sad to not see who's leading on fishing, but this guy let's see there. That guy right there is going to be giving a list of the true fishermen out there later on. So
there you go. Yeah.
Let's see. Where's our list of things? What else are we going to be talking about here? I can tell you also this morning, I was looking at some of the things you guys have done with Lua.
Hey, Chris, real quick.
Yeah.
For Castle Atos, Travis posted a whole bunch of screenshots for you.
Oh, that's right. He said he was going to do that.
In screenshots.
All right, now I got to figure out how I can show these things. This is always the challenge. Okay, I know how to do it this time. Let's see. Do you have something you can talk about for about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Let's save these guys out. We didn't think about this until.
To these. How about the new Crown Store items? So we got I think 4 cycles of Crown Store items coming up this month, Thursday, and then all the other Fridays. So what became available yesterday, a whole bunch of new shields with a new Zenosian shield style that's out with lots of different insignia on them. A new Celestian furniture set. If you happen to be somebody who wants to decorate perennial coast style. And all of the prosperity tools, guys, can now be purchased separately. That's going to be hopefully a pretty popular concept. And let's see here. So the second cycle for the month coming in on October 8th, you'll have 61 additional Crown Store items, and every single one of these is either an old a stretch goal item, a telephone reward, or a login reward, or subscriber login reward. But they've all they were never on the store. They were never in the vault. They were just available in their original form, only up to this point. Well, now you'll start to see 61 of those items cycle in throughout. They're in the store. There you go. And it's things like the 4-piece one-man band, the blue electric katana, the various different dragon masks. There's a couple of dungeon entrances, like the 2 dragon statues facing each other. What else we got? The Icy Cave Stone Hallway set for your player-created dungeon. That's the Mighty Lightning Hammer. Lots of different pets and emotes. And the White Flower. We have the Topiary set, Topiary statues, and then we didn't have the White Flower Topiary statues, so those are all in there. Even that White Marble Ballroom A dungeon room is available. It'll be available on October 8th. Let's see here. For the cycle after that will be the Crumbling Titan of Courage statue. So it's a statue with all the pieces falling apart, and you can place each of them separately in disarray however you like in a large cushion 3-pack, in case you want large cushions to sit on. And of course the wax cylinders we mentioned before will be coming in the last cycle. And then we have, I don't know, it looks to be about 15 items or so loaded into the vault that weren't previously in any sort of rotation. And that's ended up being lots of emotes, various different outfits, things like the aeroplane emote, or the mouth coil emote, the metal dark lamp, the masquerade mask, frost pipe, a lot of pretty cool stuff in there. Rainbow emote, that was actually really nice.
All right.
Ready now?
Just about. I'm like.
Oh, no worries. Well, then how about the login reward? You get the lei flower necklace. It actually replaces your chest piece, and it looks like you have kind of like a coconut bra on and the lei flowers. That's your login reward for October. Then if you happen to be a subscriber, you also have login rewards available to you. And that's the Ancient Zenosian Xiphos sword. And then the Tiki Demon Mask and the tall Tiki statue. And Damon made sure that the 2 Tiki statues, because there's a large Tiki statue as well, they can stack up on top of each other if you want to make like a taller totem.
Whoops, I may have stomped something. All right, these were just some teasers. We didn't give him a heads up until the last minute. And we threw out the idea and he said, sure, and he took some screenshots for us. So these are not like the usual ones where he tries to get things perfect. And this is still a map in progress and it should be out next release. But again, this is meant to be a kind of a small, feel like a small city scene that's supposed to be a hub gathering place. Let's see if I can get this. Whoops. And these are just some screenshots from it. And again, he still has plenty of polished work to do. Not quite ready for this release. Smoke coming through the roof. Insides. But that's just some of the stuff that's going into it. There will probably not be new space, new properties in those spaces. There will be probably some vendors there that will be the public vendors. We may have some special assets, some special public vendors, but again, we want to try to make it something that feels like a fun space for new players to come in, but also can be a place for people to go other than Soul Town to try to catch new players as they come in. And also to, there'll be some dungeon type stuff that comes off that. That'll be a little bit of a hub for other things. So, there's somebody in my scene. Well, looks like somebody is not too upset with the dragons. Also, again, I was in here wandering around the Rise. Didn't really see it. Basically, I went and changed. The complaint was too many archer types in the Rise that were very dangerous. And updated that so there's now a greater chance for melee guys to spawn, and there's also just more of everything in terms of the elves and skeletons. I think I showed the throne room in there, and there were, we went from like 4 guys at the entrance to maybe 10 or 12 guys at the entrance. So again, not too much of a change. I'd threatened to overhaul the scene, and I had people scream bloody murder that how dare I talk about touching the another classic scene. Oh, good job, Dragon. That is one thing that I think we have fixed for players, apparently not for pets, but is the old, I'd seen it on a few streams before, where I'm not going to be able to demonstrate it here, but if players got in just some situation, they would bounce on other people's screens. That should be fixed. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. We'll see. I'm sure you'll spout off in chat here in a minute. But that should be fixed. That actually had to do with when the player would end up on a small, very steep spot. Like, for instance, if the collision on this top of this chair was wrong. On the one side, it would be sending that I'm here, and on the other side, it would be trying to calculate because it thought you should be sliding. So I think there was somebody else that looked at it in the past and believed it was a problem with miscommunication about the exact Z or grounding issues or anything like that, but it was actually due to one client thinking that players should be sliding and the other one saying I'm not sliding. So, but anyways, that should be fixed along with a few other movement bugs. I have already been told of ways I can reproduce the sink into the ground bug. So apparently I did not get a global fix for it, but I'm going to work on some of those other issues and see what's up. Not seeing smokes a lot sink into the ground right now, though, so good. Let's see, what else do we have on our agenda for today? We haven't hit a single question. We're an hour in, so we're definitely going to get to some questions here soon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all queued up if you're ready for those.
Oh yeah, I think I mentioned Lua a couple times, but I am working on Lua stuff right now. This is the thing I'm primarily working on, is looking at myself and Devil Cult are both Lua fans, and we both love the idea of hooking up more stuff. You guys have done a lot of cool stuff with it. I see it occasionally on streams, people using it. The thing I've had mentioned a number of times is they can't really do what they want to do with it because it introduces a lot of performance problems, both in terms of just general frame rate and then also hitching. That's because the way it's hooked up is hooked up through the old, I think it's called immediate mode UI or something like that in Unity, that is really horrible. And it was easy to hook up, is why that was the thing that went in first. Did not require a massive system to make it work, and it just fit well with how Lua worked. But apparently its performance, it's not that bad if you only have a few elements on screen, but as soon as you start trying to put up 40 text elements, it can cause some serious performance issues. So this morning I got up, thanks to the thunderstorm. You guys can say thank you, Mother Nature, but I got up extra early because we were having crazy rain here. We got 4.1 inches here in the area I'm in overnight. But got up early and went and wrote a system that I think works well for it. I'm going to try to get that on QA tomorrow, and if it looks good over the weekend, I'll try and push it to live. Now, that will only be an improvement for the text version, but I do have it, currently I have it so it is backward compatible with the old stuff. It is almost pixel identical. There's actually a little bit, the font is just a tiny bit thicker, but lining up along lines, it all seems to work fine. But anyways, it will be a simple change to make one line change. Basically, you get rid of the on GUI calls and the stuff, and then you can just put it on the on update, and you'll get much better performance. In my metrics, it was not only was it much reduced in terms of memory allocations and hitching, but it was also about 6 times as fast, and I'm going to work on getting a few more of the allocations out of it. But anyways, so you should be able to do a lot more with it. But that also started Devil Cult and I talking. And I think this is also kind of the start of us moving to the whole new system. But I'm also somewhat confident we can get the whole, just, again, give you all the UI stuff that exists in Unity for the more advanced people who want to go in and create some of that stuff. That is also will be performant and fit within the Lua stuff. So anyways, that I'm hoping to have that on QA tomorrow. I'm not planning on pushing it to live until at least Monday, but I will have it on QA because I wanted a little bit of time on it, because I tried it with the UI, the Lua stuff that I've written, and it worked great, but I want to make sure some people out there at least get a chance to hit it a little bit. Again, Lua is not something everybody uses, so if it comes out and it's a tiny bit broken, it'll probably be fine, but I am trying to make sure I don't break some of the plugins people have. So, man, running around here. This is also demonstrating one of the things that I'm sure you have all noticed, which is I'm the guy that made this map. I get lost in it. There was a time right after I made it where I wouldn't get lost, but now I totally get lost. I remember the big rooms, but I have to cheat and teleport around. But you probably saw that while I was trying to drive while Elgarion was talking there, and also trying to keep up with these guys to see what they're doing in here now. Oh, I will point out another thing that is going to be different between this, between the new scene, the new rise, and the old one, is the other change I made was things would despawn very quickly, leash very quickly, wouldn't chase you as far, and would not spawn until you got pretty close to them in the old version. And right there, I just saw something with the Genie UK sinking into the ground. Not sure I'm going to be able to reproduce that. There it is. But anyways, right now they will, in the new version, they will spawn further away. They'll be active longer. They'll stay active rather than despawn. And they'll do a little more chasing. There's still leashing. I didn't get rid of leashing completely, but there's some places where they used to not chase you that they'll now chase you down there. So anyways, just keep an eye on that. And again, more mobs, more stuff to do in here. It should be a little more experienced than it was before. Which reminds me, on another thing we didn't put in our notes to talk about was double experience. We're aware that it is still on. I did not intend it to be on, but somebody else in the team published a server update for something, and it turned back on the double experience points. So the plan right now is I'm going to turn off double experience points on Tuesday, but the other thing I'm going to be doing then is turning up the attenuation cap. that is still there. Most people don't hit it, but for those who do hit it, I know it's annoying. But again, as we get closer to trying to have that stuff balanced, I'll turn up the attenuation cap, turn off the double experience points on Tuesday is the plan. Jump in place. So I think I know what I'm supposed to see here, which is you come down and it feels like you bend a little more at the knees when you jump. Is that what you're talking about? Ulsa Kane, I've seen that. I've noticed that as well.
I think there's like a little hitch as you land. It looks a little odd. Do it again. I think I noticed.
I'm trying to get to a spot with a higher ceiling so I can back the camera out and see. But yeah, it feels like you come down a little hard like that. You see that little.
You come down and then you have like a little weird wiggle.
Yeah.
There, you see it? Like it's the camera that's doing it though. It's like following you as you bend your knees.
Yeah, see? It actually looks like it's not the camera, it's the character controllers trying to pop down. So anyway, so that's probably a slight hangover from the edge bug from the not sinking into the ground fix. So back to the drawing board on fixing that stuff. Yeah, that's one of those things. I notice it, but you really notice it when you're standing still more. Like when you're running, you don't really notice it. So, all right. Now we're an hour and 5 minutes in. We have not done a single question. We should do some Ask a Dev questions, and I think this officially means that I'm going to have to do an Ask a Dev stream next week to try and get caught up on the questions.
Again,
now people can't unsee it.
The first one coming in from after the last stream comes from Owsley. The small temple is no spawn, no deco. This makes it pretty worthless. Can we allow deco? So we already have some answers from Steven, aka Ravalox, and he's the guy that is queued up to work on all the player dungeon stuff, and he says he's already got a JIRA for that ticket to fix that, so it's a known issue and it'll get knocked out. And then we've got, I think, because they see these questions get posted in Universal and people kind of chime in conjunction. We have some people wanting to be able to teleport directly to their dungeon or their basement.
Oh, here's one. Are you keeping a deco list?
Yeah, what do you think? Is that tough?
Oh no, I was going to mention the deco list. One of the questions was the poppies.
Poppies?
Can you add deco versions
at the very
of the
top of the list?
The decos.
That's
poppies.
pretty. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, from Outlaws Run. I hadn't even noticed that.
Yeah, I can add that.
Yeah, my guess is that Sanyo used some new art sets. We've got a few new art sets, and Damon's also been working on some stuff. Oh, and Damon said we could go ahead and mention there's another boss mob coming that will probably be next release. He believes he's done with it, which means that now it's on me to get things set up for it. But there should be a new boss mob coming out just in time for Halloween. So, speaking of new art, let's see. Can we reduce the reset time on the troll bridge scene from a 5 minute waiting time? 5 minute waiting time is too long for a reset time. There's actually some places where we had intentionally turned up some. There was at least one place where there was a 1 minute wait on a troll, I think, and people were basically just sitting there farming it, multiple pets, and 1 minute spawns and using that to get that's. I mean, these are supposed to be creatures that they're not supposed to spawn that fast. They have really good loot for a reason. I'm not sure what other stuff. Do you know what other stuff was in the troll bridge scene they might want other than a troll?
Probably the BMC ring.
Okay.
The mining ring.
Yeah. Yep. But probably not. We can keep that one. I think there's probably enough of them out there, but the BMC rings. Let's see.
Right, let's see.
Here's one that someone mentioned that already happened, and I think it may have been because we discussed it after this person mentioned, but Arthas Dimpleton, good name. When will we have devotional shrine busts for 3 days instead of 10 hours? now.
Yeah, right. That just came in. Yeah, it's the same brackets, based on your town size and how it grows. So the power for those brackets didn't change, but the durations did. So those 3 brackets are, instead of, I don't remember what it was originally, like 8, 10, and 12 hours, something like that, are now 3, 4, and 5 days.
Yeah. And I remember the original discussion on that. There was some logic behind it when we put those in, which was, we'll make it basically a game session, a day or something like that, to make it so every day you have a reason to go back to town. But I feel like that's one of those things where we were trying to artificially force people to do something they didn't really want to do, especially since a lot of people don't really have, necessarily a hometown. Basically telling people they're not allowed to camp out at dungeons or they're going to take a penalty for doing that.
Yeah. I got a question from, where did I see it? There we go. Owsley, can we make water lily clusters salvageable? Yeah, ultimately, I'd like to have some ulterior purpose for anything you can get overstocked on. And for those to be salvaged, I almost think I'd have to have like a new crafting material, like plant fibers or something, or mulch or something like that. I don't know. But something at some point, absolutely.
Here's another one. We probably should get Laney's big on the deco stuff. But Owlsley asks, can we get decorative crystal nodes to decorate our cave dungeons? I can't believe we don't have that. We don't have like crystals similar to what we have for mining, just non-mineable.
I'm sorry, I was distracted. What was the question?
Can we get decorative crystal nodes? I think they're wanting just like the stuff that they mine right now that looks pretty cool. The crystal stuff to put in there for decos. Yeah, it seems like
I've had that in my to-do list for a long time, just to make decorative gems and stuff like that.
How long is your to-do list these days?
Oh, it's insane. Because every day I add, quite a few items that people keep mentioning. So it's fairly well organized at least. So that's helpful. But,
add 3 things, knock 1 thing off, repeat for 6 years or so. That's where a lot of us are. All right, let's see. What day are we up to? Oh, we're still in August. I'm still in August on the question answering.
All right, can we get, this one comes up a lot, but I guess we can comment on it again. Mannequins, where we dress them, can we dress our vendors or conversationalists, stuff like that? But yeah, the answer is something we want to do. It's just a matter as to when we get to doing something like that. It's definitely some work there. But yeah, I would love that too. It's that would be really, really cool.
I can tell you, just because I know it came up as a point of extreme frustration, and has just every now and then comes up as a point of extreme frustration. The lots, either an inactive lot or unpaid stuff, where it gets sent to your bank and basically tears down lots. There was somebody who had basically a little museum set up in an NPC town that got evicted from the town, and all went there. That's one of the things we've talked about. I think the one of the things we've talked about is making that go to your magic movers. But whenever we talk about these things, they seem simple, and then there's always lots of complications, like in terms of how to handle, because it may be a house that has 50 items from somebody else, and how do we handle that type stuff of, we send it to their magic movers now that other guys lost all their stuff. So we're still looking at solutions for that to make it a little more friendly. But there's always the balancing of, like for that type of stuff of NPC towns, there's still some demand for NPC towns, some specific lots in there. So we don't want to just say NPC towns don't evict after time, they only evict on rent. But we're still looking at solutions for that, maybe just extending some timers or making it. I know one thing that happened was we had, due to the AWS thing, we actually you're supposed to get an email if you have a lot that's going to be evicted. And our email server stuff got screwed up because of the AWS cluster failure. So I think there was actually a week or two. So I was kind of hoping the person that got evicted wasn't during that week or two, that they should have got an email and they did not get an email. But again, we keep looking for ways to make that friendlier, and so far we just haven't come up with anything that feels like the right answer. Sorry.
This one, no, you're good. This one's pretty good. Yeah, it's a little annoying. Could be a good quality of life. So Arthas Dimpledon asks, could we get the option to see the upgrade prices on a deed and possibly upgrade it without needing to actually remove it from the land and have it in your inventory? Because you can use a higher level deed to claim a lower level lot anyway. Mm-hmm. So it seems like you should be able to do that. I mean, I don't think you ever disqualify yourself from claiming your current lot by your upgrade. So might be pretty cool quality of life feature. Because in other words, they have to, I mean, not that hard. You drag it to Magic Movers, you pull it out, upgrade it, then pop it back in, pull it out of Magic Movers. Not too horrible, but yeah, it would be kind of nice.
Bridge Troll asked, now that some time has passed, are there stupid questions? Yes, there's a few stupid questions, but they're not. I think the only stupid questions we've seen are people who are intentionally being stupid questions. Maybe like the one I just read. Ooh. Take that, Bridge Troll. Oh, and while I'm at, let me thank some more people there. Thank you, U235 Sentinel. Thank you, Winfield, Pax Lair. So many things. Thank you, Z. Thank you, Mandalar. Let's see. You got anything there? I'm still back in August, by the way. We have a lot of questions to catch up on. Like I said, I just need to do a stream where I just sit down and do nothing but answer questions next week.
Are you wanting to wrap up then?
Oh, no. We can go a little bit longer here. Maybe another 10 minutes, because you still have fishing stuff to do.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, that takes a little while.
So let's do another 5 minutes of question and answering, like a couple more questions each, and then I'll try to hammer through a bunch of them next week. I'm going to do a stream next week. Put it on your calendar. I'm not sure when I'll do it yet. I'll try to announce it, though. I had some people who were upset that I did a stream without notifying people. And thank you, Winfield.
One quick comment. As Modi Mool just mentioned in chat, well, I just want to be able to see the deed upgrades without having to, yada, yada, take the deed down and be able to right click it on just to see the upgrade, what it would cost. Well, I did add, since we're at the tail end of all the deed price changes, we finally finished that over a 6-month period. They've trickled down and realigned, unless water deeds are actually aligned a little differently now, much less expensive comparatively. You'll see that on the spreadsheet that I maintain that has stats that tend to move around a lot rather than player guide stuff, which is usually more static. You'll see that I did add a new tab for upgrade costs. So you'll be able to just do some math there and see what your upgrade cost is by subtracting what your current deed price is with the one you want to upgrade with.
And I will mention, I think people just realized we'd made it this far in the stream with no hype train and got a hype train going. I will mention we are doing prizes. The prize bot has been fixed. I did test it before the stream, so there will be prizings. There will be an extra round of prizings for each level of hype train. No pressure, though. I know you guys have been fairly subdued today, hopefully because you're all playing. But yes, there will be prizes. When I do my stream next week, I will also do prizes. I will probably do the in-stream prizes just so the people who are in-stream, I just draw names that way. But I'll try to give away some good prizes. I give away pretty good prizes in my stream too.
All right, so Acondas asks, any chance salvaging can give materials 100% of the time, even with the pattern? Oftentimes, players don't want the pattern. So not wanting the pattern will likely change because maps, recipes, patterns, I've mentioned this before, but it's just a matter of me getting to that bulk of work. So I do everything in big batches for projects like that. I'm gonna make all the patterns, all the recipes, and maps, stuff like that drop pretty frequently. You'll be able to salvage them into cool stuff, and you'll be able to have chances to get mysterious documents and stuff from those salvage, like, oh, wait a minute, if you hold it like this, it looks like this paper's been reused, and are these moon letters? That kind of stuff, and you'll be able to use, basically it'll be a different item. It could be a scroll, or it could be a clue or something like that, but or another recipe. But it'll just, so those endless piles of patterns and recipes and things like that you guys have. Like I said, I want everything ultimately that you're overstocked on to have a secondary purpose where you can kind of, turn it into something salvageable. But yes, while I'm doing that, I can also make sure that you also get the materials in conjunction with the pattern.
Here's a good one from Gareth. Can we get GUI indicators for which skills are 100% untrained? For those who don't know, a lot of times when skills are in flux, or if there's questions about whether they will be flux in the future, I'll set them to give 100% back on untrained. But he is correct. I don't think sometimes we usually announce those things, but we have not, we don't have a way an indicator for most people seeing. We should have an indicator for them. I just made a note to add a skill for that, or add a UI for that. I'm going to grab one or two more questions, and then I'll answer one or two, and then we can jump into the fishing stuff and try to wrap things up, because I will do a stream next week to do Q&A.
Connor's asking we get animal heads added to the butchery table so we can salvage them for meat and or bones. So basically be able to salvage them for things too. Yeah, maybe, or just more recipes that utilize them, that kind of stuff.
Let's see. Maybe you answered this one already. Crossfire bugs. And I like this. Somebody gave this on our team, gave this a thumbs up. We should give thumbs up ideas on our channel here to kind of vote for things to answer. Yeah, this is a good one. Can we get a filter for the Kodo store to hide pot-specific items if we aren't a pot owner? The default filter is set to on. Yeah, and that's one that is kind of important too, because then you end up buying something you can't actually use fully. So
I think all the pot-specific items are in their own category.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in a category called Town Improvements. I can't think of any pot-specific item that's out of that category, but maybe when you're doing a filter, you pay less attention to the categories and you're just looking at the search results. Yeah, but I could maybe put in some other glaring, I don't know. I can talk to Wizard Smoke on that. He's the store guy. He knows that interface.
All right, let's see. I'm looking for one last one to answer. By the way, I'm up to September 2nd, so if you're wondering if I'm going to have questions left to answer on the next stream, yes, I will have plenty of questions left to answer. Let's see. We have noticed there are no taming legs artifacts. Alexander suggests we have taming thongs. We have helm, chest, gloves, boots, belt, ring, but no taming thongs. I don't know if we want taming thongs, but taming legs, that is one I've heard multiple times, is trying to fill out their complete taming stuff for the serious tamers out there.
Oh, gotcha.
You can think about it.
I've got a question. I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
I was just going to ask if we're going to get loin snow artifacts.
Loin snow?
Having the frost giant drop magical greaves that give you loin snow like his. Mostly it's because we like saying loin snow, moist loin snow.
He's dropping
the snow that comes from his crotch.
He's got a lot of goodies that he's dropping, even some good deco items. I'll keep trying to add stuff. I don't know. Was his? Are you talking about making an artifact of like his loincloth?
Yeah, just it has the visual effects from his loincloth.
Oh yeah, maybe if Damon wants to do it.
Yeah.
He was picking what he thought looked pretty high quality on his gear and turned it into something I could use. So I don't know what his thoughts were on the loin.
All right. Well, he hates the loin snow anyway, so it's mostly Travis and I just like talking about the moist loin snow.
So I got a question from Crossfire Bug's Eye. Can we get slain by tag trophy type stats concepts on like trophy heads? And the answer is something definitely want to do. And I honestly think I might have touched all the pieces of this. I might be missing a few pieces, but I might be able to make new trophies, new trophy types. I can experiment with it, see if I'm missing anything that I've stumbled across, but I might need a little bit of help. But yeah, I'd love to turn basically every wolf head, troll head, dragon head you have, put it into that trophy concept system. Just to make sure that, you guys can have competitions for all different types of, cool loot like that, where, you have different size scaling and stuff like that.
All right, I've got one last one here, which I'll mention, which I'll read, which is from, again, I'm up to Friday, September 3rd. I got a lot of stuff to do next week, apparently. Dear Devs, with a Z, water magic sucks donkey balls. Please double damage and increase duration damage of ice field. The Bacon gods are displeased with this lack of love to water. Add new skills, strength of water like earth skill and ice ball like fireball skill. So we took a small step in that direction this release. So we'll see how things feel after this. Again, I try to watch to see which trees are the popular trees, not just the skills, but the trees. I think this gets them a little bit closer. Again, the perception with ice is it just could not, couldn't hold a candle to the DPS of some of the other trees. So I think we'll be a little bit closer, but we'll see. Listen, are you about ready to do some fishing stuff?
Oh yeah, I think so. And start the weekend? Absolutely.
And I'm going to repin where we got to on the channel there and unpin the old one, so I know where to start. I will be starting on September 4th. All right, do it. I'll kick back. Let's talk to my fish.
I gotta get to that other room where I put all that stuff. All right, so results coming in here, guys. Let me put this out in the chat too. Make sure people know to come listen to these results. Oh, I'm getting logged out. All right, so this month it was the largest fetid water fish in a POT. It was fetid water this time. And so I'm going to list out the prizes first, just to speed things along. So for all the first, second, and third place trophies, they're the same for each major category. The major categories were largest POT fetid water fish, largest NPC town miscellaneous location fish, and you had the largest PvP location fish, then you had the largest lava fish. And so for first place prizes, it's a player-owned town village lot deed, no trade, large gold fishing trophy, and the Master Angler title. The second place prizes are a player-owned town row lot deed, no trade, a large silver fishing trophy, and a Master Angler title. And the third place prize this time was 50 tiny squid, a large bronze fishing trophy, and the Master Angler title. And so for largest POT fetid water fish, first we'll start with third place. Third place winner goes to Jughead. Congratulations, he fished out a 2.527 ambiguous unit alligator gar from Hemet. The second place winner, congratulations to Valera Pariel. She fished out a sturgeon measuring in a 2.578 ambiguous units out of Island of Wonders. And then first place, Olymp, fished out a sturgeon measuring at 2.632 ambiguous units out of Fields of Misery. Congratulations, you three. All right, so for the largest NPC town and miscellaneous location fish, we got third place prize goes to Dugan Redhammer. Caught a sailfish measuring at 2.923 ambiguous units. Caught it at the Solace Bridge outskirts. Second place winner was a Galorn hammer throw, the Westminster hammer throws. He caught a tiger shark measuring at 4.24 ambiguous units out of Point West. And we've got the first place winner for that category, Proudfoot Underhill. Also caught a tiger shark measuring at 4.293 ambiguous units out of Point West. All right, so third place winner out of the largest PvP zone fish. And all three of these were caught out of Verdanta Shardfall. Third place winner, Delta Lock. Congratulations, caught a bluefin tuna measuring at 2.462 ambiguous units. Second place winner, Fenrir Jagerson. Caught a sailfish measuring at 2.704 ambiguous units. And first place winner, congratulations to Revenant. Caught a marlin measuring at 3.158 ambiguous units out of Verdanta Shardfall. All those are Verdanta Shardfall. And for the last category for the fishing contest, we still have treasure hunting contest to come up. And I didn't have time to process the screenshots and the videos, but so tomorrow morning I'm gonna log in and give you guys your next month's objectives for all the contests, plus also announce the screenshot winners and the video winners. The video winners will know who they are because we had 2 submissions. So let's see here. So for the lava fishing contest, third place winner goes to Dr. Hernbrand. He caught a Mosasaurus measuring at 6.162 ambiguous units out of Black Blade Pass. Congratulations. Second place winner goes to Gwek. Caught a Mosasaurus 6.317 ambiguous units out of Black Blade Pass. And the first place winner goes to Delane Lachlan. Congratulations. Got a Mosasaurus 6.911 ambiguous units out of Bunker C. Congratulations, all 12 of you people. All right, so for the treasure hunting contest, there's a PvP location and a PvE location each month, each release. And for the PvP location this round, it was Verdanta Shardfall, and you'll notice there's always overlap with the fishing locations just to inspire more people to beat up on other people. And also we've got the PvE location, Black Bait Pass, also one of the fishing locations, so you can bump into friends and stuff. So what do we got here? And the prizes for these, a little about the same. So the first place prizes are always a player-owned town village lot deed, a large PvP shard trophy, that's that glowing purple one that you can only get from this contest, and a title. And then you've got the player-owned, for second place prizes, player-owned town roll lot deed, a medium PvP shard trophy, and a title. And the third place, ornate steel chest, a small PvP shard trophy, and a title. All right, so for the PvP location in Verdanta Shardfall was the person who looted the most crocodile heads. Third place winner goes to Revenant. Congratulations. Second place winner goes to Estroma Tolito. Congratulations. And first place winner goes to Adam Crow. Congratulations. Now for the PvE location, this was Black Blade Pass, and it was the players who looted the most slime ooze. Third place winner goes to Valera Pariel. Congratulations. Second place winner goes to Tirag Dragonsbane. And first place winner goes to Michael Berg. And that is what I got for the contest. Congratulations, all you guys.
Awesome, and I did the drawings. My fish light went out. It usually doesn't happen during the stream. I have it set to go off at 5:30, which we're over 5:30 now. But I do have the prizing, and shockingly, our prize bot worked, and it didn't create any duplicates, I don't think. Yep, I don't see any. All right, what do you want to do? You want to do the prize or the character?
I can do the character, that's fine.
All right, then first up, new prizes for the month. We have black leather, Chesterfield sofa and chair.
Those go to Lane, Dr. Hernbrand, and Graham Wormsbane.
Next up, we have a bonfire.
The winners are Liquid Blaze, Zandara Wildus, and Rowena Roseberry.
Now you're getting that game show host thing on, or is that the radio voice? I'm not sure which one that is. Ornate Backslung Loot,
The winners are Radicus, Awe, and Beast Striker.
And also let me throw out again, thank you to Winfield, Paxler, Mandalar, Dart and Obscuro, Treasure Pile, Den Haru, Mandalar, lots of thanks out there. Next up is Ancient Stone Blue Chapel Dungeon Room.
Goes to Vulcan Jedi, Arya Blood Moon, and Feather Warblade.
And last but not least, the Lich statue goes to...
Winners are Tarek Calandriel, Uthgar Krakenwolf, and Bridge Troll.
All right, congratulations, guys. Bridge Troll snuck in there at the end.
Yeah.
I will try to do a stream. I will do a stream next week to go over the questions because we are close to a month behind. You guys are asking some great questions in there. So I will jump on and do that. I will also do prizes in that one, but I will do the one where you just do the exclamation mark prize and stream. And I do do it that way. On the next one, I'll also try to do somewhere, go back and catch up on the stuff I'm behind, and then also I'll do somewhere, watch the new stuff that comes in, so you guys can ask questions in game, and I can get them in there. But I don't know what day that'll be. That may be like a Wednesday, and I'll probably start the stream earlier, but I'll try to give you guys at least 24 hours notice, and maybe even post a message in game for that. Other than that, I think that's it. Again, I've been amazed. We had a lot of last minute stuff and a lot of big stuff that came in this release, and somehow we managed to not break anything except for maybe a little tiny hitch when you do a jump for your movement stuff that no one would have noticed except someone had to point it out on the stream. I had noticed. It was one of those things I always jump when I'm running. You don't really jump much, and you don't notice it much when you run. You only notice it when you're standing still, and you get that extra oomph when you hit the ground, like you're hitting it hard. But anyways, I will be taking a look at that. I do have another repro case of sinking into the ground, so I will be taking a look at all those things. But I think other than that, nearly flawless. All right, not quite flawless, but getting pretty close. And great release overall. Lots of good feedback. Lots of good stuff got in this release. New stuff to do. Lots of new ways. Again, I think the economy will improve. Will show improvement just from the one change of being able to find the vendors you actually want and see prices on stuff. I think it'll also drive some prices down, or maybe drive some prices up when people see that they're way off target on things. But I think that's about it. And I think all we have left to do is find someone to raid.
We've got two to choose from. We've got Coswald Dirthmeyer.
So
and
good.
I don't think I've seen this name before. Nico Nito.
Well, you want to check him to see if he has, is it 75 or fewer people? And he allows comment, and he's in English.
Is in English. And
I feel like we owe Coswald. Coswald's been doing some amazing stuff on the streams and has great stuff, like just great feedback on things.
You can chat with them, and they are seem to be a new player in offline mode, and they're currently in Blood River Forest as a new player. So that's might be good to get folks over there to help this person learn the game.
All right.
It's their 27th episode in Shroud of the Avatar.
Wow. Okay, well, Coswald is the best. I will agree with that. He's right up there among the best. But I'm going to give the new guy a raid. You guys, if you want to learn how to play, go to Coswald. Again, I get lots of good feedback from him. You guys are also pretty constructive in his chat, which I love as well. 3 or 4 things went in this release that I think were probably either direct feedback from Coswald or feedback from stream stuff with it. So, what's that new guy's name? The guy, the new streamer?
It's Nico Nedo.
Nico Nito?
Yep, all one word.
All right. We're getting ready to go raid him. Again, if you don't want to see the new guy, you don't want to support him, that's fine. We understand. Go see Coswald. He's amazing. He always has a pretty good number of streamers or viewers in there. And tons to learn. And again, always good feedback from him. And just great in terms of so much better than me in terms of streaming and moving around and actually doing stuff while talking. It's still tough for me. I never developed the whole run around and talk at the same time thing. But I think we are ready. You guys ready? You ready for weekend?
Let's do it.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for the support. Again, lots more to come. We got more. Hopefully we can get another skill or two live. I know people are really looking forward to Lightning Storm, so I may go see just how far off that is. It's pretty close, though, I think. And that may end up on QA and then go to live, though. This weekend I will get a QA build out. We'll probably have another patch on Monday or Tuesday of next week. And I think that's it. Again, double experience will end on Tuesday, but I will up the attenuation number when that comes down. Guys, thank you so much for all the support, and we will see you in game. Let's go raid the new guy. See ya. Bam. And raided.